We are back on Carolina Women with our man on the couch. It is so good to have you here today. You have another really, really interesting guest, almost like family.
Almost like family, going back to elementary school, middle school. We've known each other a long, long time and still like each other, so that's positive. Connie Hipp has really been a wonderful volunteer for the community. She went through Leadership Beaufort shortly before I did, I think, and then became Leadership Beaufort. So Connie, tell us a little bit about your background and also about the leadership program.
Okay, my background. I moved here in 1958. My dad was military, so our family moved here, and that's when you and I started going to school together over the years. When I graduated from high school, I started working with the U.S. Department of Agriculture and worked with them for 33 years as a federal loan and compliance officer. Loved it. Got to be out doing all kinds of cool things in the community. So interesting. And Larry and I both stayed around here over the years, and talking about Leadership Beaufort, transitioning to that, I was in the second year of the program. And in fact, a friend of mine that was in the first year said, you got to try this. They're trying to start this in our community. They have them in communities throughout the country. She was director of continuing ed at the technical college.
Got it.
And so she was going to direct the second program. And then after that, and I loved it. I loved it. I got to really learn some extra things about our community. And then she and her family moved at the end of that year, and the chamber said, we can't afford to pay a director to do this. And I said, I kept my notes, surely I can help for a little while.
How hard can this be?
I hear
I've
learned a lot over the years. Exactly. I've done some things that didn't work, and now I know how to make them. But this is my 37th year to run the program.
For the people who may not know what you know well, and you know well about Leadership Beaufort, what is it? What does it look like, and who participates?
Okay, anybody over the age of 18 can be a member of it, or 18 and older. You have to either live in Beaufort or work in Beaufort to be part of it. Every year in April and May, we recruit for the next year's class, and I always make the deadline the Friday before Memorial Day. That way I don't have to remember dates, and neither does anybody. When someone says, when can I apply? Yeah. And then we interview everybody in June, and we choose a class. Classes have ranged size probably anywhere from 24 to 36.
Oh, that's great.
And 36 is about as much as I can handle. Yes, ma'am. That's what I've got going on right now. But we also pick alternates. So if over the summer somebody can't do it for some reason, we can actually place others. And people have been very understanding. If they're not chosen in a particular year, they'll come back.
They'll come back.
Because they see a value in it.
Is it a monthly kind of participation?
We meet on the first Friday of each month, beginning in October through April, and each month is a different subject.
For example?
For example, History and Quality of Life is in October.
Oh, wow.
And we have Dr. Larry Rowland speak for several hours. And if you've never heard him, you want the whole day.
So what is the overall goal?
The goal is
class?
For the class is different subjects each month, get people aware of what's around in their community and the different subjects, whether it's environment or history or government or education, health and public safety and that kind of thing. The final one is always government, so that you can talk to all your governmental leaders about what you've heard all year. But each month, and then we have an opening retreat here in town for the weekend, and we bring in facilitators and do a society simulation.
Oh, do you do like a SimSoc thing?
Right, exactly what it is. That's all we talk about.
You're an alumni, right?
It's my favorite thing.
I think it makes you look at your community in an entire different way.
Wow.
And it also is a great vehicle for people getting to know each other that weekend and feeling comfortable each month, being able to talk about things and ask questions and not say, oh, I don't know these people, I can't talk.
Is one of the ultimate goals to get people more involved in the community? You found out hidden?
I think yes. I was going to say that yes. And we've had many people run for political office, but that isn't necessarily it.
Right.
We expose them to what community committees are out there and things like that, but also how to go find out things, where to go for the public meetings to learn what's going on and to learn a little bit more of the background of things.
What are some of the community resources that are available? That makes so much sense.
Well, one of the things we emphasize is you can be on a citizens committee. You can be on, you could for the city or the county or just anything that's going on. One month I make everybody volunteer at least 2 hours with a different nonprofit organization,
that's so brilliant.
and then come back in the session and talk about that organization. And people all the time then say, I want to be part of that, or my neighbor would love to do something like that. So we touch people that wouldn't hear about it otherwise.
And then the alumni from the year before, they come in as mentors for the next class? Is that how it works?
They actually create alumni events to associate with each other but a lot of them will come back in and be speakers for me too, which is excellent. And then I have a crew, because we do all the cooking and everything on the weekends for the retreat so that we can afford to keep the price at a reasonable amount for the tuition. And so I have what we call princesses coming in and help doing everything with
I
that.
think that we could talk about this forever.
Days.
We need to get you back, Connie. You're really articulate, and this is great for the community and really for our show. Stay with us. There's a lot more to come here on Carolina Women.